Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. It is Tuesday, December the 10th, and my birthday. What do you know? Hey, market not so great today. It's kind of sloppy and choppy. We did have a nice rally back, but AGIO and some other stocks and biotechs and tech stocks, still there's a lot of stocks that are moving well. Let's start off with that. Take a look at that AGIO that has been in a downtrend since it was trading over 100 a year and a half ago, and eventually getting down to 28. There's the V bottom, selling climax, pop, and then a big reversal bar with big volume, and this is a what I would call a tail. There's your breakout. There's a run up to resistance and a stall, and then another explosive move before it pulled back on the breakout yesterday, and then today another follow-through upside move, 228, 5.5%. My target's 49 and 54 going forward, looking pretty good. Up next, AKBA, another biotech. Akiba exploded, formed a wedge, and now popped out today, and I'm thinking this is going to test not only 7.5, 3/4, but then 9. Amarin. Well, after exploding and pulling back and forming a wedge, it finally started to trend upward. And in a nice pattern today, breaking out of that wedge and closing with a pop of 66 cents, or about 3%. Nothing huge, but it seems like the volume's coming in and this OBV's moving up steadily. We've got to get this to 24 3/4 to get it to 26 and then 28.9 range. Arrowhead, powerful. The pullback lasted one day. It popped and then backed again, held it. The $60 range is support. It ran up to 71 today. Target 81 and 95. AUPH exploded. Pulled back for a day, held it very nicely. That is your support now. We do not want that to come down underneath 14.5, which near-term target 23. I believe I had put a swing on it with targets of 21 and 25. I'll have to double check my numbers, but this looks higher. AXSM continues to explode. This was a swing last January, so it's almost a year now. But you can see that it's run from in the 6 range and up into near 50 today at 49.30, and that seems to be coming out across the channel top. If it does, it's going to accelerate right into the high 50s. CDMO exploded today, 97 cents or 16.5%. 3.3 million traded, one of the biggest volumes ever traded on the stock, and certainly in the last couple of years. This is breakout type volume, but it did not get through the recent highs at 715, today's high being 715. You get this above 715 tomorrow, I'm looking for 8.5, and then I'm looking for 10. Clovis, after a huge run up, I told everybody this stock was extended and needed to get a retrace. Well, we got one, and a big one. From 17 to 8 3/4, basically dropped back about 9 points. The rebound or Fibonacci retracement took this one up to 1260 today, and so this is going to be a test for the stock. Either we hold it there and pull back and consolidate for a while, or it explodes through that 13 range, retest 17 and onward and upward. Stay tuned. ELOX popped. The long downtrend may be tested. That's your channel, and lateral price resistance as well. So my target's 9 on this one. GTT, new swing and powerful looking type rising channel. 9 days in a row, the stock is up today with increasing volume. Let this one get above 13.5 and looking at 17 3/4 and 22.3. INMD, I think it's time for wave 5. Here's 1, 2, and there's 3 and 4. Wave 5 should at least take you, I think, to the high 60s, maybe even high 70s to low 80s. Outside possibility, you'll see mid 80s on that one. So this stock could double from here if it gets some energy and some volume too. Keep an eye on support. This is key. You don't want it under 40. KLXC is exploding off the low after forming what looks like almost an island reversal on a selling climax, followed by a big pop to the upside. It popped out yesterday, pulled back to retest, and today, beautiful follow-through day, up 98 cents or 16.4%, 872,000. Great volume on the upside. Look, near-term resistance, no question, is 8. You get through 8, you're looking at 10, 10 and a quarter. Kenixa. Basically, the breakaway gap above the moving average is what broke this one out. And then it trended up to resistance and backed off to retest, exploding today. Didn't close well. It got up to 1460, closed 1292, but still up $1.55. Now looking for a little bit of a backing, filling, then maybe a run to 17. Swing trade okay, I think is on its way back up, and if it takes that pattern out, it could explode to 233 and change and run up into the high 30s. What powerful move on NLTX, Neoleukin Therapeutics. Running to fill that gap, but it's going to have to get to 12 to do that. I wouldn't be surprised to see 10. You may see 12, but the stock is extended as it having gone from 4 to 855 in a couple days. Careful, but it's got great momentum. OVID rounding bottom, breakout, wedge, and popped again today. If we can get this one through 4.5 or so, and then take out 490, which is the near-term scalp target, your swing targets are 5 3/4 and 7. Puma. Well, after a nasty drop that severely tested support, it stalled for 2 days. Today it popped right back up again. So let's watch the $9 range. We get above 9. I'm looking for 9.5, 10.5, and 11.5 or more. PCG, fantastic swing trade. As it popped the coil, we got a swing on it. It ran from 7 3/4 to 12.80 in the last week. And at this point, even though there's some resistance in here, it stuck its head out above it. I'm going to say the gap door resistance is right there. And so it could pull back and consolidate for a few days, especially if this is not the angle of ascent. It might be, it needs to be rest like it did there for a couple of days. However, a breakthrough here and you're looking at 15 short term. PRQR, after popping out and pulling back to retest, is now up for 5 days in a row and is testing key resistance. Through 9.5, targets at 10.5 and 12. PTI is a monster. At this point, this stock is exploded, flagged for 4 or 5 days, popped, a 2-day pullback flag, and today another breakout pop of 44 cents at 12.5%. I don't know if momentum can continue at this angle for long, especially with resistance right about where we are, a little bit above here, 4 3/4. But my target short term is 6. Let's see if we can make it. Arcadia may have taken out the declining tops line today, certainly took out that little mini wedge or coil and popped 10% on 800,000 shares. Now, what we're going to be watching closely is the November high at 628. You take that out, you're looking at 7.5, 8.5, and 10.5. WRTC not only popped beautifully today and took out this wedge, but after hours, strong news came out, and look at this explosion. Closing at 640, it ran up as high as 723, trading at 720 right now after hours. I think it closed there. This is a fantastic move. Look at the pop, coil, and pop again. My original target was 740.50 and then 8, and then eventually we may get this one up to test the double all-time highs up in that 8-9 zone. And finally, Zyme is just a fantastic chart. Pulled back for a few days, but it reversed today. Up 254, 6.4% on a million shares. You can see the volume increase. This one may very well make a run at 46 and then 50. Those are my targets short term on Zyme. And that's it for tonight, everyone. Have a good evening.